Good morning. Welcome to our daily devotion. It is Wednesday, January 13th. Appreciate those of you that have stayed committed to these daily devotions. I just want you to know that God honors that. There's no way you can spend time with God, spend time in His Word, and not grow in your faith. It's just a natural thing where Jesus tells us your faith grows just from hearing. So imagine when you study it. Good morning, Marcy. Good morning, John. Loyal as you two are. We're in Matthew. This is still a part of the great Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus is teaching, and it's his first teaching. He's showing now that the kingdom of heaven has come to earth, and he's going to teach us what the kingdom of heaven means, what it's like. Good morning, Savannah. Good to have you with us. So we're in Matthew chapter 6. I'm going to read verses 1 through 4. Good morning, Roz. Thanks again for all your help. Jesus says, "Be careful not to do your acts of righteousness before people to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets to be honored by people. I tell you the truth, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that by your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." Now, good morning, Serena. Thank you for your faithfulness. First things I want you to see is that Jesus promises that we will be rewarded for our good deeds. We will be rewarded when we help the poor and the needy. Morning, Michelle. How many times have you done something good but got very little attention? Now, if you're honest, you feel like you got cheated, that, oh my gosh, nobody even seen what I did. Or you'll say something like, well, I'm not going to do that again if no one appreciated it. Have you ever done things and just felt like no one appreciated it? You help someone with no recognition, no thanks. We all like to get a little recognition for the good deeds that we do, even if we don't do them to be seen. We all like to be appreciated. We all like a simple thank you, okay? But Jesus is telling us something that's much, much, much better. He's telling us it's better not to be seen. It's better not to be appreciated. It's better not to get thank you. Better not to get recognition. Why? Well, we're going to look at some scriptures here to see what God has to tell us. In Proverbs 19:17, you've heard me share this many times, but let me read it again now. It says, "Those who are kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and He will reward them for what they have done." When you help the poor, when you help the needy, when you do something for them, it is just like doing it for the Lord. Now I want you to think about that, okay? Some of you here are watching this, have given regularly to help the special offerings that we have. Serena, I know you do it on a regular basis. Ross, you do it on a regular basis. John, you do it on a regular basis. What God is saying is, you're not just giving to those organizations. You're not just giving to Dandy. You're not just giving to Dawn. You're not just giving it to India. You are literally, it's just like giving it to the Lord. I want you to really dwell on that now. It says, "Those who are kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and He will reward them for what they have done." God promises that He will reward you, and you have to realize you can't outgive God. And then in Proverbs 16:20, or in Proverbs 25:21 and 22, it tells us this: "If your enemy is hungry, give them some food to eat. If they're thirsty, give them water to drink, and the Lord will reward you." Wow. So it'd be like giving something to someone and they don't say thanks or no gratitude whatsoever. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. It says the Lord will reward you. If you get recognition, if you do something and you get all kinds of recognition, It's literally like Jesus saying, you, like we read here this morning, it's like you've already received your reward. You've already received it by getting recognition. But when you don't get recognition, that leaves room for the Lord to reward you. In Matthew 16:27, he tells us this, for the Son of Man is going to come in his Father's glory with his angels, and then he will reward each person according to what they have done. Jesus is going to come back, and when he comes back in his glory, he's going to return and repay everybody for the good that they have done, especially to the poor and the needy. Especially to the poor. Jesus promises, you will be rewarded. In Matthew 3:8, says this. He's talking about sharing the gospel. He said, the person who plants and the person who waters have one purpose, and each will be rewarded according to their own labor. For we are God's fellow workers, you are God's field, God's building. God even tells us that we will be rewarded for sharing the gospel. You'll be every time. Now think of this. Every time you hit that share button, it says that you will be rewarded. I don't do it for this reason, but I know with certainty that God will reward me for sharing the gospel, for sharing the good news, for doing these daily devotions. I don't do it. I don't do it for recognition. I don't do it to try to get more views. I'm not pleading with you people to share, to hit the share button so that you get more views, so it makes me look better. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I have a strong desire to get the word out there, to get the gospel out to more and more people. And God promises us that he will reward us for that. It's like, wow. Revelation, the very last book of the Bible. God says, behold, or this is Jesus, behold, I am coming soon. You might be saying that to us right now. Behold, I am coming soon. Morning, Penny. I will give to everyone according to what they have done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. I am coming soon, and I will give to everyone according to what they have done. Wow. Wow. If I hear a lot of people talking now, well, could this be the end of the world? Is it possible that Jesus is going to come? If he does come, that's what he's going to do when he comes. He's going to reward people according to what they have done. Let me close with this one in Matthew 25. You're all familiar with these verses about the sheep and the goats. On Judgment Day, how he separates those going to heaven from those who are not going to heaven. These are the ones not going to heaven now. This is what you don't want to hear. Then he will say to those on his left, depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you didn't invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, you did not look after me. Then they will answer, Lord, when do we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger, needing clothes or sick in prison, and did not help you? Then he will reply, I tell you the truth, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. Our judgment even is determined off what we do to help the poor and the needy. It's like, wow. I think of Dawn and her team. I just got a haircut from her yesterday morning, and she was showing me all the room that she's in there, where she's got all the little articles, and they're all separated so that they can put them in bags. And she said she spends, like, every time she goes to the dollar store, she spends like $400. That's 400 little items that she's purchasing. And she puts them all in their separate places, and then she packs them and puts them in the bags. Then she makes the food, and then she spends hours on the street on Saturdays feeding the homeless, doing it every single Saturday. No, There's no way she would keep on doing it. She's been doing that for several years now. There's no way she would still be doing it if she was just doing it for recognition. No way. No way. She is doing it for the right reason. And I would say to her, but great is your reward. Dawn, great is your reward. Dandy, the same thing. Great is your reward. Think of what she has done to help the poor and the needy. Wow. Wow. And many of you support her. You're a part of her cause. When you give to her ministry, you're a part of that cause. You are doing the very thing Jesus said, welcome into my kingdom. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I had no clothes, you gave me clothes. When I was in prison, you came to visit me. And homeless are like in prison, out in the streets, cold at night. And you came and visited me. Welcome into my kingdom. So I guess the question is, what will your rewards be? If Jesus were to come today, what would your reward be? What would Jesus say to you? Would he say to you, blessed are you? Blessed are you. When I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. And you'll say, well, when did we see you hungry, Jesus? When you did it to the least, you were doing it to me. Welcome into my kingdom. What will Jesus be saying to you? Just think of that. What will Jesus be saying to you? Never too late to start. Never too late to start. I was proud of my, as you know, some of you know my brother is staying with us now, and he only has months to live. We don't know how long, but he's not in very good shape. But when he first came to our house, and he flopped in the chair because he just wore out, just coming from the car into the house. And the first thing he did is took out of his pocket his check and gave it to me for the children that he has adopted in India. And I got a lump in my throat. It was just kind of like, you're on your deathbed. You know you're dying. You know you only have months to live. But the first thing you thought of was to give your check for the orphans in India. God bless them. God bless them. What will Jesus reward you for? Think hard on that one, okay? Thank you for joining me this morning. Tonight is our youth group meeting at 7 o'clock. I'll be singing another Beatles song for the rest of you. I hope to see you tomorrow morning again at 8 as we continue with our daily devotions. And if you would like to be rewarded, put that share button. God, Jesus promises us we will be rewarded for sharing the gospel. You will be rewarded for sharing the gospel. You will be rewarded every time you hit that share button. I can promise you that because the word is the truth. Have a great day. See you tomorrow morning.